Next. That's actually really useful because there's a metal detector in this case. And missile! That's what I'm talking about. Oh man, he had to come back in this case about animals. I need Missile to be a sprite. I need Missile to hang out with Gumshoe this case, or I'm gonna be hurt this case, but please. Hey, Missile! Here, boy! Yes! That's what I'm talking about! This is the best case of all time. I'm not doing this voice. No matter what, I'm not doing this voice.
That dog had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat.
What did you just say?
It was hellish. Utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him.
That's not his voice, but something about me knowing that I only have to do 2 lines of his, I'm a little bit more confident just blasting out something crazy and then returning to Edgeworth, which I can do in my sleep. All right, yo, I am back. I'm super excited. It's been a couple days, so you can tell by the hair and mustache that I have not changed a ton like I did between the last 2, but we're doing it. I'm back. I'm excited. I remember what's going on, at least in the last one, and I've been thinking about it for 2 days straight. Oh God. I did not figure out what I'm doing for these voices for these 2 women, but so it goes. All right, let's remember what her name is. Fifi Lagarde, an animal lover who considers physical contact. All right, sure, that's okay. Do you mind if I ask a little about the prison? Oh, not at all. This place is my pride and joy, my home. Sure, it was a prison when I first arrived, and it was awful, an utter disgrace. Awful? I suppose you mean the prisoners were unruly. I most certainly do not. They're angels, every one of them, and they always have been. No, it was the ambience that was awful. I fretted, I brooded, and then it hit me. The animals. If anyone can brighten up the place, it was them. It is nice having them around. Isn't it just? And now look at my fabulous little family. Why, my dashing Frankie is the very picture of rehabilitation. Is that someone I should know? Okay, not him. Frankie? It's not him. Frank saw it. I'm stupid. Yeah, he's doing a good job. He just tried to steal stuff off a dead guy. Except when he's rifling through the dead man's pockets. Alright. We have so many success stories among the family, but darling Frankie really is a marvel. He's thrown himself into his vocational training and is always the first to volunteer for everything. What, and your other model prisoners don't do that? Oh, of course they do, my dear, of course. They're all such triers, such doers. It's just that Frankie, let's just say he knows what's good for him. What exactly does she mean by that? Anyway, the music stopped, which means something important's happening. He's a very good boy, so try to be nice to him, won't you? Loud, soaring music, great leaping animals. The Berry Big Circus truly has it all. And everyone who comes here goes to see it once a month. Wow, every word of that sentence I said wrong. Really? In that case, let me see. She'd be better not thinking of something to confess to. This monthly show, is it always performed by the Berry Big Circus? But of course, sweetie. I'm Regina's biggest fan. That girl's my little princess, my superstar. She's so wonderfully talented. Yes, she is. She is. Ha! That's a good animation. I like her kissing her little weird fox on the lips. And she's just so adorable, so sweet. I could just gobble her right up. You're not lying when you say you're her biggest fan, huh? Which is why I'm worried about her. So worried. It's all because of poor Simeon, you see. If he's found guilty, why, darling Regina will be devastated. So you simply must make sure that doesn't happen, Mr. Lawyer. Please, I'm begging you. If there's anything I can do to help you clear up this awful misunderstanding, let me know. Her ass is lying. I don't trust her. Regina, darling, you put on the most splendid show for us yet again. The stage, the stars, and you in particular, my princess. It was simply divine. That's so nice of you. I hope everyone else who watched it enjoyed it too. About that, dear, I'm afraid I have something awful to confess. There were some absences, you see. She must mean Canis and saw it. We were 3 members short. Unbelievable, I know. How will you ever forgive me? A lot of alarm bells are going off. I'm sorry, but you're saying 3 inmates didn't attend the show. That's right, sweetie. I counted the seats myself. 1, 2, 3 no-shows. And I always make sure there are enough seats for everybody. But Mr. Edgeworth, that's not right, is it? Indeed. As far as we were aware, Mr. Canis and Mr. Sawit were the only ones not present. This doesn't add up. Who is the 3rd missing prisoner, and what were they doing? It seems we need to investigate further. Oh, I was enjoying my chat with dear Regina so much I almost forgot. I must feed the little one. Little one? Yikes. Whoa! Alligator! You're looking as adorable as always, Allie, my sweet. Oh, she's so pretty. And what a cute name. Yes, Allie the alligator. Isn't she a darling? She's my favorite. Aren't you? Yes, you are. I'm so jealous. Can I pet her? Of course, princess, of course. I would really like her, and I would like these two a lot more if I didn't think the warden was guilty as hell. Boy howdy, these two are made for one another. They look like they'll be busy for a while. Maybe we should go back inside the prison and check the cells? Yes, let's. Perhaps we can find a clue there as to who our 3rd missing prisoner might be. That alligator's sick. Sir! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! This is either a random cop or Gumshoe, and I hope it's Gumshoe. Phew! I finally caught up with you. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Every time a new boy comes in, I'm like, yes. Because I'm built to do boy voices. I'm built for it. Girl voices, I'm fighting for my fucking life. It's just, I don't want to do the thing that's like forcing my voice up. I think that sounds stupid, but there's only so many voices I can do that sound girly. Detective, you're not needed elsewhere? No, the judge and the kid aren't here yet. Oh, and I got your message. So you searched the victim's cell. Did you manage to turn anything up? We struck gold, sir. Well, blood anyways. It was right there on the floor. Only in tiny specks though, but at least it's something. Yes, It proves the holding cell was the scene of the crime, right? Not quite. It proves a possibility, but it's not conclusive yet. I thought you'd say that, sir, which is why I ordered some follow-up work. I asked for forensics to analyze the blood and see if it matches the victims. They're on it as we speak. Nice work, Gummy. You thought of everything. Detective. I must say, I'm impressed. Did you hit your head or something? Gee, don't look so surprised, sir. I just hope things continue to go in our favor. Okay. Alrighty, so that's proof that the murder happened in the detention center. And for our next trick, we'll find out how that dog got over there. This is not right. The way we're doing this is not quite right, because there's no mystery right now. Everything is laid out too cleanly. I don't trust it. The flow of during an investigation sequence, we're following a series of, I think this happened, we have got the whole thing mapped out like halfway in, and we're just like putting pieces together, is absolutely not right. There's absolutely no way that there's no twist for the rest of this. I think there's some shit has to go way sideways for this case to make any sense to me. Don't worry, you can leave that one to me. Until the kid and chaperone get here, we've got the whole prison to ourselves. Which is why I brought my secret weapons along. Not the dog and metal detector, right? That would be... That's right! A few tools of the trade that have helped me bust more than a few cases wide open. Behold, the 7 secret weapons of Dick Gumshoe, ace detective extraordinaire. I'm using a pop guard for this video because I listened to the last one and everything I was like, "Puh, puh, 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 puh." So we'll see how that sounds. I'm either gonna watch that back and go, hey, it's working, or I'm gonna, because I can't hear it right now, obviously, but I'm gonna listen to that back and shudder and cringe, and the hair on my arm is gonna stand up, or I'm gonna be like, that's cool. Well, I don't know about you crazy cats, but I'm sold. Miles. I'm also using a different green screen. I'll try to show it in a second, but I've got like a little green bubble sitting on the back of my chair because I just had like a green sheet that I hung up behind me. Who cares? Not that interesting. Very well, detective. We'll try using your secret weapons. You got it, sir. Let me run you through the list. Okay. That's what I'm talking about! Missile has to be here. If it's made of steel, silver, or scrap, this little guy right here will find it. So, it detects metal. Very good, detective. Next. That's actually really useful because there's a metal detector in this case. And missile! That's what I'm talking about! Oh man, he had to come back in this case about animals. I need Missile to be a sprite. I need Missile to hang out with Gumshoe in this case, or I'm gonna be hurt. Next up, secret weapon number 2. Missile, everyone's favorite crime-fighting canine. He can track pretty much any scent you put in front of him, especially food. That's Gumshoe's pet for sure. He sure is a lot cuter than Mr. Conus's dog. And now for secret weapon number 3. Where'd I put it? Aha! Am I one snapper short of a school, or is that a fishing rod? Don't tell me we're gonna go fishing for clues. No, I mean, I just happen to have it with me is all. I see. Well, onwards and upwards, detective. Let's see what else you have. That's all she wrote, sir. Gummy! You're 4 secret weapons short of your so-called 7. And one of them was a fishing rod. Sorry, but that's all for today, okay? I'll show you the rest next time. That's so funny. I think that's really funny. Because when that happened, I'm like, okay, I know the 2. It's gonna be the metal detector and it's gonna be missile. 5 to go. 7 is kind of a lot. I don't know how mechanically they're gonna do that, but all right, I trust this game. I'm down. And then they're like, we've got one more weapon. It sucks. And the other ones I forgot to bring. I think that's really funny. Why do you think I call him secret? Guy can't just go sharing everything at once. That's crazy. In that case, then, I suppose the 3 you've deigned to reveal to us will have to do for now. Alright, which one do you want to try, sir? Missile, don't care. I don't care which one is even right. You got it, sir. I think the metal detector makes the most sense for this case, but... Please. Hey, missile! Here, boy! Yes! That's what I'm talking about! This is the best case of all time. I can't believe we get to see Missile just shaking his little tail. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with this game. I'm so obsessed with this case. Miles, can you smile? Oh, he really came. So, what are we tracking? We're trying to find how Mr. Connis's dog got to the holding cells in the first place. I suspect the same route was used to bring Knight's body back to the prison. So, we give the pooch a sniff of the body, and he'll find that route for us. Missile, you're so good. Does anyone else smell something sweet? All I smell is the odor of blood. Is it his candies in his pocket? It's faint, sir, but it's there. Almost like cake, maybe. That's also good characterization, that Gumshoe is actually kind of weirdly a good detective. When he makes a good deduction, or when he like trips over his own dick and balls and falls onto a good deduction, that's good. I like that. Why would the body smell of cake? Alright, Missile, get a nose full. Yes! Missile, you're so good. Here we go! Follow that dog! Missile, you're doing such a good job. That's the way to... He's headed for maximum security! Uh-oh, he's going in. Then we'll just have to follow after him. Excuse me. I'm sorry? He can just leave? Also, what's so maximum security about this? This is Connis's cell, though the man himself is absent, it seems. Is he meeting with someone in the visitor's room? Do you think Missile's onto something? Shh! Looks like maybe he is. Ah! Missile. Is there something here? The dog? Whoa. Look, Mr. Edgeworth. That chisel on the floor is a bit smaller than the others. It has a belt tied to it. I'm no woodworker, but perhaps it's an all-purpose one that can be used in a pinch regardless of the job. An all-purpose pocket chisel. Makes sense. Always nice when your tools are useful and easy to carry. Is that your opinion as a thief? Nope, it's my opinion as a great thief. I walked into that one. I hate to say it, and I don't hate to say it. This is the most fun I've had playing Ace Attorney, like, maybe ever? In a long, long time at least. I really fuck with this case. I really fuck with this game. I don't care that much about Kay, I think. Especially compared to Maya. I love Maya. I'm kind of enjoying Kay and Edgeworth, to be honest. Tea and rice crackers. Mr. Connis clearly doesn't lack for comforts. I can think of worse ways to spend my time in jail than drinking tea and playing chess. I thought this was maximum security, not maximum comfort. How come nobody else gets the special treatment? Complaining to me isn't going to help. Perhaps you can take it up with the man himself. Yikes, no thanks. Okay. Mr. Connis's chisels. Every one of them a potential murder weapon. That reminds me of something. The furrows in your brow. When you frown, it looks like somebody took a chisel to your forehead. I have no idea what you mean. See, they're so deep. Don't tell me you don't see it, Mr. Woodcarving Face. Have you quite finished? Mr. Conus's chess set, complete with his special dog piece. That's not a chess set, that's a whole chess table with legs. Looks like it might be worth something too. It's not inconceivable, some of them are, and this is quite a nice one. I never would have pegged Mr. Conus as a chess fan though. What, with the whole Eastern aesthetic he's got going, I thought he'd be more into Go. Go, huh? Can you play? I can play Go Fish. Not the same thing, Kay. Not even close. Okay. Hi, Missile. Light of my life. Baby. Precious. Perfect. What's the matter, boy? Wait. Is this cake what you were after? Oh. Hi, cutie. Whoa! Down, boy! Stop that! No! You can't have it! Dogs can't eat chocolate. You know that. He doesn't know that. He's a dog. If you won't behave, I'll just have to eat it myself. Not bad. That's some real outside the chocolate box thinking there. Not sure everybody agrees, though. Gummy! I wanted some. Daring of you both to assume the food in prison is safe to eat. Well, daring or dumb. So anyways, it looks like it really was cake Missile was tracking. Talk about a waste of time. I suppose we got our just desserts. I don't know if it was a waste of time if the body smelled like cake. But the little guy is definitely capable, right? Sure he is. This was just a blip. He'll follow the right scent this time, I promise. Seek, boy. Let's go. Oh, I think he's onto something. Oh, it's the parrot. Whatever it is, it's in there. Mr. Carcerato's cell. Carcerato incarcerated. We need to take a look inside. Detective, call the guard. Yes, sir. Thank you, officer. A question before we begin. Is the prisoner, Mr. Carcerato, still in solitary? No, sir. He came back a little while ago. And he was here for the noon roll call. Guess he must be on work duty someplace. I see. Now if you'd be so kind as to open his cell. Yes, sir! Okay. Vibes. So, how many minutes do you think this timer's for, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, Mr. Carcerato's a boxer, so 3 minutes would be my assumption. Same as the length of a round in boxing. Thanks for playing, but the correct answer is kinda maybe about 2 minutes. Why? Because there's a crack in it and a bit of the sand spilled out. Why does it hurt so much when she's right? No way! He has a poster of himself! And right next to it is... Looks like he never lost the habit of making weight for a fight. Once a boxer, always a boxer, I suppose. I see he also has quite the collection of supplements. Muscle protein, hustle protein, soul-crushing protein. Yeah, that's a lot of protein. Surely nobody trains like this for nothing. It says Teddy in extremely poor handwriting. So this tire belongs to the bear? I wouldn't have thought it, but Mr. Carcerato and his Ursine partner seem really close. Wow, this takes me back. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, did you have a swing like this as a kid? Not that I can recall, no. So, what did you do for fun when you were a kid? Good question. Chess, golf, flute practice, golf? Edgeworth playing golf is so funny. Him playing flute is way funnier. Did you have any friends? What? Why would you even think to ask that? Oh my god. Kay is whatever, but Edgeworth is extremely well characterized. I really think I know who that guy is. And they do a good job of, like, he's cool enough that he gets a lot of random points. Just passively, he's cool, and people treat him a certain way and are very respectful of him. And he also gets dunked on a lot in a way that is, like, proportionate and fair to me. I'm surprised they give the prisoners heaters. Unusually kind or unusually careless. I wonder if he uses it all year round. To help him lose water weight, maybe. Yeesh. I hope his furry friend can deal with the heat. I'm sure they've learned to sweat things out together by now. Cute. This punching bag has clearly seen some use. Woo, woo, woo. What breed again were you, Missile? Sure it wasn't a boxer? Woof! Haha! No way! No way indeed. Quickly, detective, move the sandbag aside. Yes, sir! Whoa, okay. A hole! Whoa there! Wait, Missile! I'm going in too. Wait, stop! Sir, I'll go get her! Oof, that's tight. Shouldn't have eaten that cake. He's gone. Well, I'm not going in there. Guess we'll just have to wait. Of course he's not. Hello, Kay. Are you alright? You're not gonna believe this, but we're in the detention center. The detention center? That hole. It's a tunnel that leads right into Mr. Knight's cell. What? Don't go anywhere. I'm on my way. Love the click-clack. Love the sound. Hey there, Mr. Edgeworth. Guess you could say we made a breakthrough. Quite. At least they came out unscathed, I think. Sir, the floorboards under the bed were torn up. They sure were. So that's how they did it. There's no doubt about it. This must be the route we've been looking for. The corridor connecting the detention center and the prison is locked down by heavy security doors, but with the help of this tunnel, it can be circumvented. It was a sweet scent that started this whole search. Could it be that the scent was in fact coming from Knight's body after all? A sweet scent. Incidentally, Knight's body was covered in dirt. Dirt that might have come from being dragged through this tunnel. Kay, what was it like down there? Well, it was pitch black, so I couldn't see a whole lot. Luckily, my camera has a flash, so I took some pictures. Then let's see what you've captured. Oop, evidence time. Okay. Okay. All right. There's a lot of things. So obviously I see paw prints. I also see silverware that's been stolen, which makes me think of Money, who I think was a little thief. Look at that. Spoons, a fork. Guess these were for digging the tunnel. That aside, are those footprints? Paw prints even. From a dog, perhaps. This is a vital piece of evidence. However, it begs something of a question. It does? Mr. Carcerado has clearly been making use of this tunnel, which means... Detective, we need to find out where Mr. Carcerado is immediately. If my suspicions are correct... Huh? Oh, nuts! The guards were alerted and began searching for Mr. Carcerado right away, but after a thorough investigation of both the prison and the detention center, he was nowhere to be found. Huh?
Well, have the police been notified?
Yes, ma'am. We just finished liaisoning with him a few minutes ago. They've set up a cordon around the entire facility.
Good. The first blemish on a prison's spotless reputation is always the ugliest.
It won't happen again, madam. A rather different Warden Lagarde to the one we've seen so far.
Mr. Edgeworth, was it? I really can't thank you enough for finding that tunnel, darling. Sadly, it may have been a little too late. It seems he might have already left the building.
I'd say that's unlikely, Warden. After all, there's a security gate at the exit to the detention center. You're not suggesting he simply walked through it.
What's to say there was the only one tunnel, sweetie?
I suppose that's true.
Well, whatever the case, this is no time to be standing around chit-chatting. Mr. Edgeworth, would you mind continuing with your investigation?
It would be my pleasure. Girl.
And you three can get back to your posts.
Yes, ma'am. Detective, the results of the blood test just came back from the lab.
Thanks, pal.
Let's see what they have to tell us about the blood found in Knight's cell.
What does it say, Mr. Edgeworth?
They've identified the blood, and it's Knight's. Let's go.
W.
Haha. Nice job, everybody. Teamwork makes the dream work, huh? We've got Knight's blood in his holding cell, a tunnel, a dog clearly went through, and security footage showing Knight being attacked by the dog in his cell. Case closed. We have all the evidence we need. Let's see what Mr. Connus has to say for himself.
Connus? Oh, darlings, are you sure? Do be careful around him, won't you? He's as well connected on the outside as he is in here.
I suppose you'd have to be. How else would the so-called fixer stay in business?
The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know.
So that's what that was all about.
He's still not talking, ma'am?
Even with the evidence you borrowed from the precinct?
No, and I've tried so many times I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send in a blank report.
I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation. Is that correct?
Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Connus is with me now.
Whoa. Is this true? Is this real? I think they're in cahoots.
Heaven knows how many times I've hauled this secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with,
this is her motive. That's what I'm thinking. This is her motive, isn't it?
He simply won't say a word.
A prison warden conducting interrogations herself. That's irregular, to say the least.
Let your guard down and he'll devour you whole. Be careful, darlings. You've been warned.
Hooey! And I thought things couldn't get any spicier. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. We got the... Oh my god. I've got 18 million voices to do in this room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's in that dog's mouth? Judge Gavel, I didn't expect to find you here. We have been conducting inquiries, which, given that we are in charge of the investigation, is hardly strange. What is strange is that you are still here, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave you a warning, did I not? I told you that your badge was at risk should our paths cross again, and yet here you are. I'm sorry that you thought I might be so easily discouraged, Your Honor, but I am not about to let the truth slip away from my grasp, no matter what you or the committee might say. Hey, can I say something? What the fuck is a judge doing investigating this shit? That's not how this goes at all. I'm here to present a certain someone with evidence that you yourselves should have uncovered. Kihihi. What was his voice, I wonder? You have more business with me, I take it, Mr. Edgeworth? I do. I promised I would be back to prove that you were the killer, and here I am. This should be amusing. Very well, whenever you are ready. Objection! That's his voice. Not so fast! We have some truths of our own to share. First-rate deductions, in fact. Indeed, we are more certain now than ever that Simeon Saint was the murderer, and that only he could have moved Mr. Knight from his holding cell to the prison proper. Showdown! We shall prove this to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. But first, a question. Are you quite determined to continue on this course, Mr. Edgeworth? Should you fail to rebut our deductions, there will be no going back. Your very career hangs in the balance.
What? You mean you'll take his badge if you don't like how this goes? That's intimidation.
Not at all. If anything, I am showing him mercy. This is not Mr. Edgeworth's case. It never was, and I am under no obligation to hear him out. If he is prepared to accept the potential ramifications of his actions, I will allow him one last chance. Well, are you truly willing to take the risk to put your beloved badge on the line? Mr. Edgeworth.
Sir!
Stand on business! I accept your terms. I am confident of my reasoning, and what's more, I'm representing the firm of Edgeworth & Co. That's fucking cool. And I do not intend to besmirch its name. My duty will be done, and I will not be intimidated. Hey, Eddie Fender, why don't you get in here? Very well. Let us see whether you are brave or simply reckless. By the power vested in me by the almighty goddess of justice, let this judgment commence. Eustace, if you will allow me. Fine by me. He's all yours, Gavel. Come on! You are aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before yesterday, I assume. He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Knight did that? Later, in the middle of moving a large animal cage, Mr. Saint stopped by Mr. Knight's cell for a little visit. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. He slipped into the cage, and there he hid as he was wheeled to one of the prison workshops. It figures she was going to bring up Mr. Saint going to Knight's cell. Yesterday, after you so kindly made us aware of the security camera footage, we decided to take a look at it ourselves. Whoa, hello. This is a still from the footage we received. Mr. Saint speaking with a knight at his cell. Wrong voice, but who cares? Correct. You will also note that he has positioned the keys in such a way to obscure the camera's view. It is this blind spot that Mr. Knight exploited in order to enter the cage undetected. A sound deduction based on what can be observed, wouldn't you say? A blind spot, which means that the camera wouldn't have been able to capture the moment Knight entered the cage, if he did at all. So it's still possible he didn't actually leave his cell at this point. I don't get it. Why would Mr. Knight want to hide in the cage? There is really only one possibility. He intended to escape. A prison break? That's so cool! Mr. Carcerado, Mr. Knight, everyone's doing it. I have to step up my game. Okay, now is really not the time. Mr. Carcerado's escape is no laughing matter. It is my belief that Mr. Saint helped Mr. Knight with his escape attempt. That is to say, he was his accomplice. Wow, go Simeon. That wasn't a compliment. I understand that the cage was briefly taken to one of the workshops. I imagine that had things gone to plan, Mr. Knight would have remained in the cage until after the show, and then removed from the premises along with the rest of the circus's equipment. Unfortunately for Mr. Knight, Mr. Saint had other ideas. He killed his friend in cold blood. Judge Gavel's argument seemed reasonable. Alright. He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Okay.
Hold it!
Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regained consciousness, I'm sure he will confirm our suspicions. I wouldn't be so sure. Perhaps I should press her further on her reasoning. Yeah. Love Dog Buddha up there. Sorry, but I believe there's a flaw in your reasoning. If Knight had the keys, there was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint? There was no need, surely. He chose the option he deemed most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere, then waited for an opportune moment to present itself. He hid the keys. I'm afraid you might have made an uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honor. But Knight wasn't hiding any keys. That has been proven already. And this is the piece of evidence that proves Knight didn't have the keys. Oof. Oof.
Take that!
Metal detector? I'm gonna be so embarrassed reading this if this is wrong. Would you mind taking a look at this, Judge Gavel? Am I expected to accept this as evidence? Doesn't bode well for me. Okay, I thought maybe he couldn't take the keys between, like, where he was being held or something. Judge Gavel is a tougher nut to crack than Mr. Winner. But that doesn't mean I should give up. They wouldn't ask me to do that if it wasn't evidence, I think. Maybe okay, let's back off for now. I'm just gonna press the rest, see what happens. Very well. as I was saying, it's clear the keys were vital to Mr. Knight's escape. Later, in the middle of moving a large animal cage, Mr. Saint stopped by Mr. Knight's cell for a little visit. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen.
Hold it!
I take it you believe Mr. Saint had intended to break Knight out with the cage. I do, and we know that he brought the cage with him on his little visit to Mr. Knight's cell. Because, in addition to the evidence, he himself had testified to having done so. He took the cage. I'm having trouble piecing together what's happening. There's like too many. So, Simeon Saint made 2 visits. So his trip to Mr. Knight's cell with the cage really is what made him the lead suspect. Yeah, but Simeon, he's just absent-minded. He probably forgot he even had the cage with him. Mr. Saint dragged an enormous cage all the way to the holding cells out of absent-mindedness. Mr. Saint dragged an enormous cage all the way to the holding cells in order to help someone escape. Which of these interpretations sounds more logical to you? Gurk. Gurk, indeed. As it is a fact that Mr. Saint took a little detour to Mr. Knight's cell with a large animal cage. Thought there was going to be more to that. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen.
Hold it!
Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regained consciousness, I'm sure he will confirm our suspicions. He slipped into the cage, and there he hid as he was wheeled to one of the prison workshops. Indeed, and if Knight didn't have them, then her entire theory falls apart. That could be the flaw I've been looking for. I should press her on the issue. Okay, so this has got to be it.
Hold it!
Press further. Boy, this thing zips by. This is the piece of evidence that proves Knight didn't have the keys. They just weren't on him. What about that? This doesn't look good. There's a clear contradiction in your testimony, Judge Gavel. Silence! Such statements will not be tolerated by this court. Dog, I don't know what's going on. For one thing, the fact that you clearly do not believe it yourself. Nagoo?
Hold it!
We couldn't. Okay, somehow he had the keys. Knight had the keys. Why wait for Mr. Saint? Okay, good question. Stole the keys and hid them somewhere. He hid the keys.
Take that!
That they looked for the murder weapon? And they couldn't find anything? Would you care to revise your testimony at all, Judge Cavell? I have a bad feeling about this. Oh my god, how many fucking dialogue options do they have to dunk on me? No. Why? Well, no, nothing seems out of place. Then perhaps you could refrain from insinuating otherwise. Okay.
Hold it!
No keys. That's the... Didn't have keys. Oh, this is a good place to hide them.
Take that!
But they weren't in there. Dude, I'm getting torn to shreds here. Why else but to effect Mr. Knight's escape? Well... The cage is made of metal, therefore it would have been exempt from the security gate inspection on exit. A fact Mr. Saint would have been well aware of, given that the circus visits every month. Ugh, I don't have anything to counter that. With a tarp draped over the cage, he could have wheeled Mr. Knight out right under the guards' noses. That is, had Mr. Saint not chosen a darker path instead, the path of murder. A crime which cannot be allowed to go unpunished. She says that Mr. Knight stole the keys, but didn't he deny that? Oh...
Hold it!
This seems too right to me.
Take that!
Getting cooked.
Hold it!
No way. Is it just... That there's no way. Oh my god. Just the text that said they haven't been recovered? Since you already know about the incident, I assume you must already know this, but after the assault, the guards searched both Knight and his cell, and no keys were found. I presented every single piece of evidence trying to get that point across. And if the whereabouts of the key cannot be proven, then neither can your theory. I have considered the matter of the missing keys, and I do not think it is such an issue. I still believe he had them. After all, the guards only stated they were unable to locate them. And this is because they were cleverly hidden inside the pocket chess set. Knight's chess set, the same set in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden. Was it? I can't help but wonder about that. What? But you're the one who proposed it! Oh, no way. Actually, if you recall, that was Eustace's assertion. Assertion? I can't remember what it said. Assertion. So the two of them aren't of one mind on this, I take it. Allow me to restate the facts. Mr. Knight hid the keys he stole from the guards inside his chess set. When Mr. Saint came to see him, Mr. Knight used the keys to open his cell and climbed inside the cage. He was then moved from his holding cell to that workshop in the prison proper, all with the help of his friend and accomplice. Had things gone according to plan, he would have been taken out of the facility after the show. But they did not. Instead, his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard. But Mr. Saint was part of that performance. How would he even have time to commit the murder? How indeed? Allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performances follow a set narrative. Yesterday's show was one such example. She's done her homework, I see. The suspect played the role of the antagonist opposite the elephant heroine of the show. In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails and the villain is defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage by the heroine. What costume is that? He's sent flying by the elephant. Isn't that dangerous? Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Yes, I'm afraid so. After all, it's more than a sufficient window, wouldn't you say? Committing the crime and returning to the stage in that short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming that the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honor, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell. I seem to remember telling you that I would not accept that part of the security footage into evidence. And you won't have to. I have proof of a different kind. Very well. Would you be so good as to present it? What proof do you have that the murder took place in the victim's holding cell? That's easy.
Take that!
This appears to be a photograph of a floor. Almighty goddess of judgment, grant me patience. Hold it, bitch. Don't be cute quite yet. That floor you're so dismissive of, Your Honor, has traces of Knight's blood on it. Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? After all, I don't believe you have access to the necessary forensics operatives. I have my resources. A certain blunt instrument, you might say, but a reliable one. Gumshoe? The detective. How very unfortunate for him. Perhaps you decide to circumvent the law. You might have considered that the committee's influence extends to the police. Ha, ha, ha. Oh no. Gummy's badge is on the line too. Forgive me, detective. I didn't mean to put you at risk as well. I will enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found in the holding cell into evidence. However... Oh, that's his fucking voice.
Yeah. Bad luck, idiots. You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless.
Mr. Winner, I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted.
I just butted in to tell you that your entire argument is one big inconsistency. You showed us camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in his cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood up before it left the scene? Uh-oh. What other tricks can it do? Huh? A blood-wiping dog. You're a joke.
You'd have wiped that blood up, wouldn't you, boy?
Yes, how much? Yes, you would.
What?
That was one of the tricks I taught him before our work together was so rudely cut short.
He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop. It wouldn't do to leave any evidence after all.
Saved by an assassin of all people.
Jeez Louise, you could have just taught the little guy to shake hands.
Oh, he does that marvelously too. Although the way I taught him to do it is somewhat unorthodox. First, he bites down hard on the victim's hand. Then,
La 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 la, I'm not listening.
I see. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems you may have gathered some evidence worth considering. Your understanding is much appreciated.
Wait, I'm not done yet. I just thought of something else.
Overruled.
Oh boy, somebody's taking no prisoners.
Eustace, would you be so kind as to allow me?
All yours, Gavel.
Well, do you accept the truth now? The crime took place in Knight's holding cell, and the assassin's dog was the killer. My position is the same as it was yesterday, until you can explain how the dog moved between the prison and detention center. I cannot accept your theory into evidence. I thought you might say that, which is why I'd like to show you something else. This piece of evidence shows how the dog could freely travel between the prison and detention center.
Take that!
Bing bop boom. This is... It's a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison.
What? A secret passageway?
It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Carceretto, escapee. It leads from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention center. Yes, the very one where the victim was being held. Well, this certainly is a surprise. To think it was beneath our feet this entire time. Mr. Conness, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because it's the same tunnel that was used to carry out the murder. In the name of the goddess of justice, overruled. Mr. Edgeworth, you are out of line. How so, Your Honor? Evidence is everything, whether in a court of law or at the scene of an investigation. Isn't that your little catchphrase? Well, it just so happens I have some evidence of my own. Bronco Knight's autopsy report.
His autopsy report? When did we get that? How do you not know you had it?
The police handed it to me only a short while ago. The findings are still preliminary, but it has something of value to tell us nonetheless. The goddess of justice speaks to us through these pages, Mr. Edgeworth. Cause of death, stab wound to the throat. And the weapon is said to be a sharp blade of some sort. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in an ugly wound. Is that why we can't tell if it's teeth marks or a stab wound? Because, hello. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. But its overall nature seems to be beyond question. It is a bladed metal instrument. In light of this evidence, do you truly wish to continue with your flight of fancy? Or will you now claim that the dog used a knife instead?
But that's impossible.
That will be all. This court is adjourned.
But the tunnel, the paw prints.
what of them? Helmet is something of a wanderer. Perhaps he just happened across the tunnel one day. Although I couldn't say for certain. I myself cannot wander quite so freely.
That would be quite a coincidence, but I can't prove it's not the case either.
She sure knows how to keep a secret, huh? Kinda wish she'd kicked us in the teeth a little earlier with that.
She was baiting me, waiting for the perfect moment to crush me with that autopsy report. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You are lead attorney for the defense, correct, Mr. Fender? This is the interim autopsy report in question. I do apologize for the delay.
Yeah, no sweat. Thanks for hooking us up. Yep, this all checks out. Yep.
Mr. Fender, a handshake is not necessary when receiving official court documents, you know. So please feel free to let go of my hand. It's not a holy relic after all.
Was just trying to be friendly, Your Honor.
Had you lingered a moment longer, the goddess of justice would have spoken to you through my gavel.
Alright, I got it. Nice work, Gavel. Just like we planned it.
I did only as you instructed, Eustace, but thank you.
This report came from the police. I have no choice but to accept its legitimacy. But if the dog didn't kill Knight, then that takes Connus out of the running.
The goddess of justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. She tells me that you might keep your badge if you will finally abandon this fruitless quest.
Well, what's our move, sir? I think she really means it this time. What do you think, Detective? My answer remains the same, Judge Gavel. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated.
Even with how things stand, you still refuse to concede. This may very well be your last chance.
Your badge hangs on by a thread. Then let it fall if it must. I have something far more important to protect as an associate attorney. My client. Let's go! That's what I'm talking about! That's fucking sick! He's a little junior! He just started doing this shit and he's about it!
The goddess of justice is no doubt saddened by your refusal to accept yet another offer of mercy.
Haha! Attaboy, Miles. That's what I like to see. Looks like the defense never rests is really starting to mean something to you. Credit to your old man, though. He's the one who said it first.
My father?
In fact, I could swear I saw Gregory's spirit in you for a second there. You said that you've changed since your days in Von Karma's shadow. I didn't believe you at first, but I'm starting to.
Thank you, Fender.
Alright, kids. This is where the rubber really hits the road. Put your thinking caps on. It's make or break time.
Boy, I hope that didn't pop. I hit that P hard as hell.
If it's true that Knight was fully off with a bladed weapon, does our whole case really fall apart?
A bladed weapon? Of course. There were 5 chisels in Connus' cell when we last looked. A former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit murder with a tool like that. In which case, the weapon that killed Knight was... Have you quite finished? It would be in your best interest to...
Evidence is everything. It well may be my little catchphrase, but it's also true.
So the murder weapon was a sharp blade. Then where is it? The guards didn't find it.
Why can't you let this go? So what if they didn't find it? What are you driving at?
What if I were to tell you that I know what the real murder weapon was? And it was right under our noses the whole time. Indeed, it was one of Mr. Connus' chisels.
What?
I would advise you to stop bombarding us with your irresponsible, half-baked theories, Mr. Edgeworth. You have repeatedly insisted that Mr. Knight was killed in his cell by a dog. I simply go where the evidence takes me, both in the courtroom and at the scene of a crime. If the murder weapon was in fact a chisel, then yes, the murderer could not have been that dog. But that begs the question of what exactly we saw in the security footage.
Oh yeah, the security footage. How do you explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants?
An excellent question. The footage shows... Mr. Connus' dog jumping up at Knight. The dog attacked Knight, but he didn't kill the man. He didn't? No, Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't drag a corpse through the tunnel. He dragged an alive but unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master.
Oh, I get it. By bringing Knight here, Mr. Connors could finish the job. And he could definitely use one of his chisels to do it. Correct. You, Bodhidharma Connors, you're the only one who could have done it. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, you ever get this one in your report card? Refuses to listen, must learn to respect others. Are you asking me or confessing to what's on yours? We already searched Mr. Connors' cell from top to bottom, right, Gavel?
Yes, we even inspected his chisels. All 4 of them.
Gotcha, bitch.
There wasn't a single speck of blood.
Well, it was in a tarp, wasn't it?
Why, thank you, Your Honor. You have just confirmed my theory. I have? What exactly do you mean?
The last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4.
Oh yeah, I remember counting them. Definitely 5.
And the one that's missing is the small one, the one we thought might be a pocket chisel. Mr. Connors, where did you hide that chisel?
A pocket chisel? And what use might I have for such a thing? I am rarely allowed to leave my cell.
In which case, he shouldn't have had the chance to dispose of the weapon. You've dug your own grave, Mr. Connors.
You seem to have an idea where this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you enlighten us?
I can't look at my shit. So, my first the thing that it seems like the text is leading me to is that it's in his cell somewhere, but also maybe I'm jumping too far. The dog could take it. No, couldn't the dog help him? Isn't that the whole idea? The dog can wipe out blood. He can take the murder weapon. Let's present maximum security. Mr. Connors is still a prisoner, despite the comfort he enjoys. He is rarely allowed out of his cell. He could have given the chisel to his dog to leave somewhere. Bingo. But that would have been far from ideal. He would have no way of guaranteeing where it might end up.
Intriguing. Do go on, Mr. Edgeworth.
Furthermore, this room is the one place where a bladed instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels, who's counting? A fact he took full advantage of. Ah, the old keep the incriminating evidence close routine. Classic. But I looked. I searched the whole cell myself, and there's just nowhere he could have hidden it. I am certain that the murder weapon is here, and that the reason why no one has found it yet is because it was hidden in such an ingenious manner.
Do enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth. What was my ingenious plan?
Think, Miles. There must be a hiding spot he could make use of. Think about when you came here previously. What are you missing? Man, this game is so fucking cool because I really am thinking as hard as I can, and that's a cool. It's cool that a game can make you do that. I'm like genuinely locked in, trying to laser focus on all the things in his room. Thinking about the cookies that he offered us, and something smelled like sweet. The chessboard, the chisel has a bell tied to it, and so does the dog. And now it makes me think that the dog is trying to scooch everybody out of here so that he can hide something. The dog. He hasn't made a sound today. When we were here before, he barked and growled repeatedly. Connors even encouraged him to do so. That must be it. I knew something was off. I can hardly believe it, but I think I know where he hid the murder weapon.
Giving up already? I expected more of you, Mr. Edgeworth.
As well you should, if you would give me a moment. For this piece of evidence shows where you hid the murder weapon. Doggy?
Take that!
Your dog. He seems unusually quiet today. Not his mouth.
Oh yeah, unlike last time when... Mr. Connus, if you would be so kind as to open Helmut's mouth!
Oh, come now. He hasn't barked because he is a well-behaved boy. I had to order him to last time.
Then order him again, this instant.
It's not like we're asking for the world, Mr. Connus. Or do you have something to hide? If you insist. Come on, Helmut, open up.
And there we have it. A chisel that small was easy to... What? A chisel in the dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog? I thought he'd been strangely quiet. I guess his brain has finally caught up.
Eustace, why don't you be a good boy and call forensics? Tell them it's urgent.
Okay. Our findings are as follows. Traces of blood were detected on the chisel. What? Not such a half-baked theory after all, was it? Alright, so we're all on the same page here. This is our murder weapon, yeah?
The forensic evidence cannot be ignored. We have no choice but to concede that that is most likely the case. Mr. Connus, in light of the discovery of the murder weapon, the court demands that you explain yourself.
Am I tweaking? Is prisoner B55? Is that supposed to say boss, like he's the one running the prison? We found the route that your dog took to the holding cells, and we now have the chisel. How do you propose to talk your way out of this one?
You never fail to entertain, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why does he always laugh like that, even when it's not funny?
Poor Helmut.
How could they suspect us?
You leave me little choice. I shall simply have to share with you the truth. I did not kill anyone. I have grown tired of killing.
Something's not right. Why is he so calm?
Very well. The court will hear Mr. Connus's testimony. If you would be so kind. Gladly.
Oof.
Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him. No connection whatsoever. Given that this is the case, why would I possibly wish him dead? Could it be you are suggesting that it was my canine companion who had the motive instead? Helmut only bares his fangs when I tell him to. I am not so bloodthirsty that I would kill a man I did not know.
I mean, when he puts it that way. An assassin who only kills his acquaintances. Not the soundest business model, I agree. Yeah, that's kind of true.
My work required me to deal with strangers, of course, but murder for its own sake? That's not my style.
So I need to prove a link between Knight and Connus. I should go over the evidence again and see what I can discover. It's chess, no?
I'm just gonna go ahead and present this. Forgive me for not pressing everything.
Objection!
You're getting sloppy, Mr. Connus. You may have trained your dog to clean up your mess, but some things still require a human touch. We found this in the victim's room. It's the record of a game of correspondence chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board. Ha! Excellent breakdown. He's like too cool to fully guess, which is like... What? The number of possible games has been calculated to be 10 to the power of 120, and that's on the low end. Wait, so that's a 10 times 10, 120 times over, right? 100, 1,000. I give up. I mean, what do you even call a number that big? A vanishingly unlikely coincidence, that's what. Now, tell us why you killed Knight. Unless, that is, you'd prefer to explain the coincidence.
Well, they do say that the truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence.
But that's totally impossible. We just proved that.
A coincidence of a different kind, child. I never imagined my correspondent was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmut is as surprised as I am. Aren't you, Helmut? Yes, yes. I suppose there's nothing for it but to finally tell the truth, boy? The other prisoners had all gone to the yard, you see. There was some sort of show, I believe. Here I was, minding my own business, when in comes Helmut, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite the shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, I was none too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmut take the body to the workshop. How?
That's exactly what I said. I said his ass is not murdering him. He's retrieving something from his neck.
Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I had asked.
The dog pulled out the murder weapon in the workshop.
Indeed he did. Removing it here would have made an awful mess after all.
You know something? That makes total sense. Remember what Mr. Sawit said, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not doing this voice. No matter what, I'm not doing this voice.
That dog had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat.
What did you just say?
It was hellish. Utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him.
That's not his voice. But something about me knowing that I only have to do 2 lines of his, I'm a little bit more confident. Just blasting out something crazy and then returning to Edgeworth, which I can do in my sleep. That's, by the way, I got so lucky because Edgeworth, I think, is really close to, like, the register that is easy and convenient for me to talk in anyways. K is, I can get K out, no problem, because I'm not pushing or straining my voice in any direction. But, man, some of these voices, when this guy's talking for a long time, when the Regina is talking for a long time, I'm like, damn. I see. So what Mr. Sawit actually saw was Helmut removing the murder weapon then.
Precisely. I can't say I wasn't a little disappointed that he was spotted, of course. Silly boy. It's not like you to slip up like that, is it? Now, And there you have it. That is about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most, I am responsible for the removal of the weapon.
I kind of believe him. I don't think he killed him, and I also... Actually, maybe he killed him, but definitely I don't think he's guilty, to be totally honest. I think there's something crazy going on. I suspect the warden. I don't know who else. But this is too easy. I don't think this is... I really don't buy this. And there's too many pieces that haven't fit together yet. There's a closet, there's that well that has stuff thrown in it, there's the missing prisoner, there's the guy that didn't show up to the show. I think I'm guessing we're still like 2/3 through, less.
Objection!
That's his voice. Objection! Sorry, but if you could just entertain us for a little longer, Mr. Canis. Fender. I'm ready for him to do something cool. No offense, Palio, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure we'd all like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place. He's right. It makes sense that he would move the body to avoid suspicion, but Canis had no reason at all to recover the murder weapon.
So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought.
Well, we got mute, blind, and who would be deaf? Eustace? Dumbass? Please answer the question, Mr. Canis.
It was because of the bell. The one attached to the chisel and the one around Helmut's neck have a very distinctive design, if you will.
Of course. They were something of a trademark of yours, were they not? I don't get it. How does that even work? Bodhidharma Canis, the blind butcher. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. Oh, a bell on the knife. I didn't notice that. The last sound his victims would ever hear.
You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them, you remember them well.
Your knife and its attached bell were one of the pieces of evidence seized in our case against you.
Yes, it was but one of my bells, one of only two in existence.
So, hang on. I see one on the dog, I see the other one on the chisel. So if that one was seized, is someone trying to frame him? And he's like, shit. Just two.
Two and only two. One for my knife and one for my beloved Helmut. Exquisitely crafted, utterly unique. My ears are my guide after all. And I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me. When Helmut brought the body to my cell, I was rather surprised to hear a familiar sound. At first, I was sure that my knife had been used to do the deed. But no, a chisel, an ordinary chisel.
It's certainly no assassin's blade.
Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement. Compounding the matter is the fact that I am the only person in this prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear that I would be the prime suspect.
Who gives a shit? You're in jail forever. I don't want anybody to think I murdered anybody while I'm in jail for murder. A lot of murder.
And so the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
How old is this guy? He doesn't look very young. Like he's gonna get out soon. Age question mark. What are we doing?
And so the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
Hold it!
You still claim that all you did was have the dog move the body, that you had nothing to do with the killing.
How could I? I told you, the chisel is not mine.
You need not take my word, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why not have it checked for fingerprints? Eustace.
Huh? Me? But I don't know how to check for prints.
Get forensics.
Oh, right. Sure thing. Extremely interesting dynamic. He's the first weakling we've ever fought ever. That's... Okay. I'm excluding pain. Because that's the point, is that he's weak. The point of Winter seems to me to be to contrast Edgeworth, who's very strong and capable. But like we've fought against, you know, prosecutors and even prosecutors that like aren't the final boss, and they're always cool. Like they're always formidable, and every single time it gets kind of old, really. The trick is they try to show you this guy's different. He means business. It's interesting that our rival for this one, like our direct antagonist, is just a loser, and it's because Edgeworth is the opposite of a loser. The opposite of somebody like Phoenix is somebody cool and strong and respected and capable, even though Phoenix always is. But I just find it cool and interesting that the opposite of Edgeworth is somebody who's incompetent and new. It's good writing, and you know, it's still mechanically good. We've still got people that are fighting us. There's still challenge. It's the same as it always is, but the presentation is what makes a difference. Winston Payne is the same as Manfred von Karma mechanically, you know? It's just they feel different. We got him! Fingerprints! They're Mr. Knight's. And Mr. Connis's? Nope. Just Mr. Knight's. Oh, and Forensic said there's no sign of any prints having been wiped off. Well, duh. If there's Mr. Knight's prints are on there, duh. What? How would that work? We killed him, wiped the prints off, and then put Knight's prints on there? What are we talking about? The fact that there's prints from Bronco Knight means, well, whatever. Only Knight's fingerprints. This isn't good. Should I get them to check again?
Now do you see? I have never so much as touched that chisel. Helmut carried it in his mouth, that is all. Therefore, any prints must belong to whoever had it last. So, the murder weapon belonged to the victim. Ugh, that's not helpful.
But then who did? I guess my argument's wrong, because if he wasn't stabbed in the neck with the chisel, which it really seems like he was, how did the chisel get in his neck? Because whose fingerprints would be on there? As I said, actually, you know what it is? It's probably that the fact that glove, for one thing, glove, but probably the fact that the murder wound, the stab wound, is not clear. It probably means there's something else, like maybe there's a different weapon.
Therefore, I cannot be the killer. Or do you wish to suggest otherwise? I've got nothing to counter with. But what could this mean? Is he not the killer after all? Is he actually telling the truth? No, he can't be.
I don't think he's the killer. I also don't think he's telling the truth. He's lying.
I am sure this goes without saying, Mr. Edgeworth, but if you do not find a solution to your current predicament, and quickly, I will have little choice but to relieve you of your badge. Even my patience has a limit, and I will not tolerate you throwing this investigation into chaos. Am I clear?
You've done it now, sir. She's serious.
I hate to admit it, but the fingerprints turn everything on its head. Without more evidence, I'm back to square one. Wait, something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. What would Mr. Knight have needed a chisel for?
You can do a lot with a chisel, child. Break out of prison for one.
Alright, then how did he get it in here? I know the answer to that. Hey, Earth to Mr. Edgeworth. You can't stand there hemming and hawing just because of a little setback. The important thing is finding the truth, you know? It doesn't matter how we get there. As long as we save Simeon in the end, we can't give up for now, or ever.
Yeah, what she said. I'll second that. You won me around with that, Kay. I'm half tempted to offer you a job for real. It's like I said, The defense never rests. Or rather, like your pop said. What do you think lies at the heart of those words, Miles? Any guesses? The heart of those words. It's like this. As defense attorneys, our client's fate rests on our shoulders. We're the only ones they can turn to. Simeon's our client, and we're the only ones who can save him. So, we can't rest. Not while he's counting on us. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy. Are you? I'm an associate with the defense now. No, I'm an associate with my father's firm. That's the role I've chosen. And that means that if I fail to save my client, I have failed in my duties. I will honor my father's vision and save Simeon Saint. No matter what setbacks I face, I cannot admit defeat. If one path is blocked, I must simply find another. There we go! That's the Miles Edgeworth I know. Now let's find that new path forward. We can start by trying to figure out how Mr. Knight brought that chisel into the prison. That's easy. Usually it wouldn't be possible to bring a metal object into this facility undetected. Because of the security gates, right? Correct. But we already know that checks at one of the gates haven't been entirely thorough of late. Namely, the gate at the entrance to the detention center. Yep. Yep. Knight took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel, hidden inside his pocket chess set. That does answer one of our questions, and it suggests that the chisel was indeed Mr. Knight's and not Mr. Connis's. How did the bell get on that bitch? However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address. That of the security footage in which Mr. Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain it if Mr. Connis was not the culprit? But then, how do you explain his prints not being on the murder weapon? That one's a real three-piper. What the fuck does that mean? The court, too, finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation. Wait, sir. I think it might be time to show you another one of my secret weapons. Introducing secret weapon number 4, Lil V. What sort of name is that, detective? I came up with it myself, sir. Anyways, you can use it to analyze the video footage. An excellent idea. Perhaps then you might finally see that I am telling the truth. Who knows if there's anything to be found, but it has to be worth a try. Alright, want me to talk you through how to use it, sir? Seeing as I'm not exactly familiar with video analysis techniques, perhaps I should hear him out. No, I'm sure it won't be that complicated. I don't need you to tell me how to press the buttons that they're going to show on the screen in 2 seconds anyways. Remember, just examine anything that catches your eye and you'll do fine. The footage from Knight's holding cell. Other than the victim being attacked by that dog, I can't see what else it might show us. But suppose we're wrong. What could we be looking at instead? Could the person in the footage be someone other than Knight? And if so, could whatever's attacking them be something else too? That's a crazy question. Because I have a couple ideas. This is interesting. The fact that there's a spare guard uniform. You never know what you're going to see once you start looking at things up close. Check every detail, sir. You'll find something, I'm sure. What in this footage seems odd?
That sure doesn't look like a dog to me. Oh shit, that's a guard. I must be seeing things. I should take another look. Wait. Are you fucking kidding me? Wait, hello? Stop. What do we do? Hello? The figure is reflected in the mirror here too. Is that a hat? Say, doesn't look like the hats that the guards wear, sir. Oh, jeez, is that what I think it is? Have there been any reports of one of the animals attacking a guard recently? Not that I've heard of. So this may not be a guard at all, but somebody dressed as one. By the way, what a fucking call that was. That I was looking at that uniform. So, no guards have been reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know, but we did hear about a guard's spare uniform being stolen. Could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard? Someone attempting to escape without being noticed. A guard disguise? I guess it might work. Wait, weren't we just talking about someone? We were indeed. Someone who seems to have successfully made his escape. And where would he have ended up if he walked through that hole? If the person in the footage isn't Knight, then the creature may not have been a dog either. You're right, sir. Let's zoom in and check. Okay, I gotta be honest, kind of cool. Normally when they do shit like this, it's a little bit corny, but this is kind of good. Okay, not discernible at all. Let me see that little freak. Looking at here is no dog. This animal is a bear, a cat, or a pig. A cat? Is it? Miles, buddy, I'm squinting hard here, but nothing about this picture says kitty cat to me. Mr. Edgeworth, this court demands that you take these proceedings seriously. My fault. What the hell is it then? Oh my god, is that his little bear? That's not a dog. It's a bear. What? So the paw prints from the photo I took were not canine, but ursine. What? A bear? So could that mean this little guy? Yes, I think it could. After all, who else do we know with such a pet? We had assumed that it was Knight in the security footage. Well, it was his cell. It's hardly a crazy theory. Perhaps. But now that we know about the hole under the bed, it's no longer the only possibility. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well have been the one caught on camera. And who was that, Mr. Edgeworth? Would you care to tell the court who you believe this person to be? Easy. I believe I know who our guard in disguise is.
It's none other than Rocco Carcerato, the prisoner who recently escaped from this facility. No way, did he get out? I'm confident it's him because he was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion. But the bear in that video is all black. Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. He was dirty? My fault. Okay. Okay, I think that's a reasonably good guess. That he got dirty crawling through the tunnel. Oh. Mud. I probably would not have got that immediately. Okay. He's getting a spa day. Recall, if you will, Mr. Frank saw its testimony. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Would you care to explain why it's so dirty? Oh, of course. That's mud from one of the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud pack right when the incident happened. I see. Around what time would this have been? Let's see. The show had already started, so around 9 a.m. perhaps? The thing is, the more mud I applied, the more in the zone I got. There's no trance quite like the trance one enters when one slathers an animal with thick, black mud. While the circus performance was underway, he was giving one of the animals a mud pack treatment. And that animal could have been, indeed, our polar bear. Mr. Edgeworth, your latest assertion simply introduces yet another contradiction. The footage from the security camera. I fully understand, Your Honor, and your doubts are entirely justified. Mr. Sawat mentioned applying the mud pack while the circus performance was underway, and this does indeed introduce a new contradiction concerning the security footage. It does? Yes. Let's put it this way. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay? If it was taken right after he applied the mud pack treatment, it should have been around 9 a.m. In which case, something isn't right about the footage. Really? And what's that? Is there a timestamp? 6 a.m., boy. Mr. Sod said he administered the treatment around 9 a.m., in which case the security footage should also show a time of around 9. However, the timestamp said 6:42 a.m. On the day of the murder, the prisoners all went out to the yard to watch the circus. All except 3. Mr. Conness, who remained at his cell, Mr. Sod, who was administering a mud pack, and Rocco Carcerato, who had been awaiting that precise moment to put his escape plan into action. I believe he entrusted the bear to Mr. Sod before entering the tunnel. Ah! That thing is so crazy cute. And the bear then slipped out of Mr. Sod's grasp to run after its human. Mr. Sod would have then left the workshop to pursue the bear, at which point he saw Mr. Conness's dog retrieving the murder weapon from Knight's body. It all fits perfectly, except for the security footage, which should have been recorded from around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is 3 hours off. But why would the timestamp be wrong? Detective, I would like to have the security footage examined right away, please. I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and, seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power. What? They're pretty old, sir. I guess the clock stops when the power's off. Oh no, that makes sense. The power was off for 3 hours, huh? That's not all, sir. You remember how Knight denied stealing the keys? No one believed him, considering, well, you know, he seemed kind of like the only suspect. Turns out, that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold, just like the other guy. Which may not necessarily have been a lie.
Darlings, there you all are. How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along?
Actually, there might be something we can do for you, Warden Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Carcerado, I believe he may still be on the premises. He is disguised as a guard. Here's the proof, should you need it. We're reasonably certain that the person captured on this tape is our man. And if I'm correct, he might even be right here in this room with us now. Hey, Mr. Carso would have been wearing a bracelet, right? Yes, a bracelet could easily be hidden under the sleeves of his stolen uniform. Furthermore, the doors out of the prison proper don't have those sensors that detect the bracelets installed. So if he avoids doors with sensors, he could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape.
Well, yes, I suppose he could. He'd just have to avoid the workshops and the cells and... Oh my. He's one of you, isn't he? He's here right now.
Look, it's Teddy!
Hey, paws off! Get your mitts off of me, you big palooka!
Thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions.
Dang it, kid. If it wasn't for you, Ida.
What a thing it is to be loved, huh, Mr. Carcerado? I'm almost envious.
Guards, apprehend this man.
A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee. If we're to learn the truth, I will need to speak with him. With your permission, of course.
I can hardly say no now, can I?
Well, come on then, hit me with your best shot.
Mr. Carcerado's escape route led directly into Knight's cell, so it's highly possible he has something to offer. Tell me what you were doing on the day of Mr. Knight's body was discovered.
So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel. You know how long it took me to dig that frickin' thing? I had me a guard's uniform, a hole dug, and a plan in place. So I went for it on the day you found the guy. But then this little guy had to come right after me. This sack of fur was covered in mud, too. I had to go back to our cell.
He's so cute.
I would have gotten away with it if somebody hadn't offered Knight and brought you bums down here.
You claim to have that tunnel dug just now. How exactly did you do it?
How? Used everything I could get my hands on, see? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Spent every dime I had on this cockamamie fixer. And what do I got to show for it now, huh?
Do not be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day.
There's an outside chance Mr. Carcerado and Knight met face to face just before Knight's death. I should see what other details I can extract from him.
So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel. You know how long it took me to dig that frickin' thing.
The tunnel you—
Shut up! Who are you telling to hold it?
The tunnel you said—
You don't know nothing! You don't know what I had to do. Had to come crawling to the fixer monk. Had to grovel to kowtow day after day. How you gonna give me back the hours, huh? The days, the months!
I can't get a word in edgewise.
You should have never stuck your nose in my tunnel. Never!
So the tunnel was all your own work.
Every inch. You see anybody else in my cell when you was in there, huh?
That's quite an effort, even for an athlete. Yeah, now that I think of it, that's an insane amount of digging for one guy.
Yeah, well, you don't even know the half of it, kid. But it ain't like I had a choice. Trust nobody and don't get caught. Them's the rules a con's gotta live by.
Huh. You know, the rules of being a great thief are pretty similar. Kay, I'd rather you didn't start sympathizing with the suspect.
I was just joking, Mr. Edgeworth.
It ain't no stinking joke to me. You punks owe me. I had me a guard's uniform, a whole dug, and a plan in place.
The uniform, was that from the Fixer too?
Uh-huh, sure was. Heard he had something on one of the guards. Had the guy swipe it from a pal's locker.
And were you wearing it when you were crawling through the tunnel?
Nope, would've got dirt on it. I had to hold on to it till I got to the holding cell. Here we go, I thinks. Freedom beckons. And then the furball here jumps up at me.
Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony. When was it that you realized you were being pursued?
Right when I'd gotten out of the tunnel. Right when I thought I was home free. Ugh.
You didn't notice anything before that, when you were in the tunnel, perhaps?
Nah, he wasn't around. I made sure of it. Knew the little guy would have been all over me like a rash if he had been. I was so close, I could smell it. And then, there he was, the little bum.
I love this little polar bear that's so clingy. Hey, don't you think you're being a little mean to your friend? Poor Teddy.
Mean nothing. He rumbled me last time, and now he's rumbled me again. Kids all over me. What am I supposed to do? Coming after me yesterday was bad enough.
You didn't consider trying to escape with Teddy.
Woulda if I coulda, but all that mud would have given us away. Chances to break out of the slammer don't exactly grow on trees, pal. When one comes along, you gotta do it right.
Foiled by the one who loves him most. It's almost tragic. Okay.
Sure, anything seems easier after dragging yourself through a hole in the ground.
And you were familiar with the layout of the detention center even though you live in the prison.
Huh? Why wouldn't I be? It ain't like I never been there before.
If he's familiar with the detention center, then he'd surely be aware that unlike the doors in the main prison, the holding cell doors are locked with actual keys. And I'm sure Mr. Carcerado would have needed that particular piece of evidence to make his escape. The keys! You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it.
Yeah, you got a problem with that? Because we can make it a problem if you catch my drift.
Even once you'd reached Knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it? Mr. Carcerado, I posit that leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key.
I don't got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake because the door was open. I walked right out.
No, it wasn't. Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it, and it was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself. So perhaps when you're finally succeeded today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously. Yeah, the security footage shows when you tried and failed because Teddy caught you. The holding cell was still locked at that time. Therefore, you must have had the key to a cell on you. Without it, your escape would not have been possible. Are you saying, could he really have... I believe he could, yes. The theft of the keys was in fact perpetrated by none other than... Mr. Carcerado. He's the one who attacked the guard. But not just the guard. Knight too. All to gain possession of the guard's keys.
It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I don't even know this Knight guy.
After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion, and then you waited for the perfect moment to escape. A moment when the prison would be almost deserted. That's right, the moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Unluckily for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend.
Says who, huh? You got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet. Nuh-uh. Knight knocked the guard out for the count, and everybody knows it.
Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in this case. As a matter of fact, I have proof that Knight had been attacked in his cell. Blood? Bing bong. We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly wiped floor of his cell. And it was you who attacked him. You ambushed the both of them and stole the keys.
Wah! Why I oughta... What's with you, huh? That newspaper wiped out the blood all good, and there's no way you should have found it.
Okay, but why did you think you had to wipe it up anyway?
If they checked Knight in the guard's hands, they would have seen those two never came to blows. But that blood would give up the whole game. Ain't no way they don't find out there was a third man in the ring. Plus, once they started sniffing around on the floor, they'd have found the tunnel in a heartbeat.
So you wiped up the blood to buy yourself a little more time so you could wait for a better opportunity. Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear of the prison, it seems. Now, hand over the keys.
Right in the kisser.
Oh, poor baby. He didn't jump onto Edgeworth, did he? Oh, baby.
KO'd by a lousy, stinking bum. Fine. You want the keys? Here, I hope you choke on them.
Okay, got it. Wait a moment. If Mr. Carcerado here had the keys... Indeed, Your Honor. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys he allegedly stole to escape his cell. That was the only way he would have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that that theory cannot possibly be true.
No!
Guess this changes things up quite a bit, yeah? Now, the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about that tunnel.
No! You gotta be freaking... Mr. Carcerado, you're under arrest. Come quietly now, pal. Oh, wait, you got the wrong guy. I didn't do nothing. Alright, fine. I knocked those two chumps out, and I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around. And I mean nobody. Plus, his body was found in the workshop. You think I just magicked my way in there or something? I couldn't have even gotten out of my cell.
Indeed, you only had the key to Mr. Knight's cell. You could have left on your own, back in the prison. But Mr. Connis's dog could.
What?
It was not you, but Helmut who moved the body from your cell to the workshop. I get it now. You're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy. Indeed, one can easily imagine that Mr. Carcerado and Mr. Connis might have worked together. And they kind of did. He got him the guard's uniform, didn't he? Mr. Carcerado could have killed Knight and dragged him back to his cell. And then, Mr. Connis's dog took him from there to the workshop. There are no restrictions on the animal's movements within the prison. Movement between the detention center and prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There was only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Carcerado.
How can you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know.
Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough.
You got that right. You try scraping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody already did a bunch of the work for me.
What? You didn't dig the entire tunnel yourself?
Nope. Found it when they put me in that cell.
I knew it! I told you. That well, I fucking knew it.
Ran all the way from the well in the yard already. Even looked down the well to check it from there. It was the same tunnel, alright. I just made good on what somebody else had already started.
Then what was the original tunnel for?
Who knows? You're the one with all the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else tried to break out.
Oh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like, to get water from the well or something.
I've heard of more plausible scenarios than that in B-grade movies, Kay.
Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water to be had down there. Though, come to think of it, a smell. Yeah, always smelled kinda nice down there.
Like cake?
Ah, gee, I don't know. Smelled like dessert, I guess.
A sweet scent. That sounds very familiar.
Bing bong.
Detective Gumshoe noticed a sweet smell when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its route through the prison. And that, Mr. Carcerado, was how we found your tunnel. Huh? Could that same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well? Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean to suggest that this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel? I do. Furthermore, Mr. Carcerado, you are the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access.
Now, that's actually not true. That's actually definitely not true. I bet you could pull his body up through that damn well. If he's in a tarp, you wrap him up, tie that chain that's right there to him, and just drag him. It unlocks, too.
You have our thanks, Mr. Carcerado. Truly. Finally the truth comes into view. Now, unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident.
What? You ain't pinning this on me.
I am glad to see that we are finally in agreement, Your Honor. Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Carcerado may have been an accomplice, but not one of Mr. Connis. No, he was working with Mr. Knight.
This thing is convoluted. Ace Attorney is really convoluted because the central mystery has to be nuanced and complicated. Like, it just has to have a bunch of twists. But you also have 18, like, halfway versions of the truth that everybody else believes. That's the really hard part, is how does the prosecution or how does the enemy team have a different competing version of events that also could be true at some point or another? That's hard.
I do not believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he lent Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole.
You gotta be kidding me.
Granted, it seems likely that he attacked Mr. Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. Knight was knocked unconscious as a result. And what if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Carcerado had reached a certain agreement?
What kind of agreement exactly?
Mr. Knight was plotting an escape for which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was that precise means in the form of the keys Mr. Carcerado had just stolen. Mr. Carcerado himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Carcerado's plans would be ruined. And so the two struck a deal.
Lady, the only striking I do is with my fists.
My, still you deny it.
So, we're agreeing that we still disagree.
Boy, this thing is getting nutso. Mr. Knight had Mr. Carcerado unlock his cell so that when Mr. Saint arrived, he could escape into the cage. Okay, so we have everybody's teamed up. Mr. Saint was then able to move him into the prison proper, just as planned. Going the wrong way if we're trying to escape. Aha! And then he took Mr. Knight into the workshop and did the dirty deed. Were neither of you listening? The scent on Knight's body proves that it was taken through the tunnel. It was moved from his cell. Perhaps if you would let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth? I am not denying that Knight's body was moved through the tunnel. Oh my god. Then what are you driving at? Is this a trick question? As you say, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent shows the route the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell. Huh? Then how did it get down there? There is another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? The well in the yard? Oh yeah, that thing. Mr. Saint did not take the cage to the workshop. He took it outside. There he killed Mr. Knight and threw his body down the well. Mr. Connis's dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well. On that note, I would ask you to recall something. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? The circus show, right? Regina and Simeon were performing for everyone. Wait, Simeon! Ah! Ah, indeed. And so you see how it must also have been him who disposed of the body. Judge Gravel is a truly formidable opponent. She so effortlessly adjusted her theory to fit the facts. I propose that Mr. Knight was taken to the yard, not the workshop. And as we have established, Mr. Saint was off stage for 15 minutes. Ample time to throw the body down the well, I am sure you will agree. Your deduction is impressive, Your Honor. However, even supposing that Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well, you cannot conclusively say that it was during the show. It could have happened at a different time. My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth, but it simply could not have. What? Mr. Carcerado was using the tunnel at around the time the show began. Mr. Carcerado, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there?
No. Place was clean.
If the body had been at the bottom of the well before the show began, Mr. Carcerado would have seen it. However, he saw no such thing. Which makes it somewhat difficult to support your theory. Furthermore, Mr. Knight's body was discovered in the workshop after the show. True. In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop at some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? Oh! What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? If the body did indeed enter the tunnel from the well, things don't look good for Mr. Saint. Still, Your Honor, your theory is still just that, a theory. And I posit that you lack the evidence to back it up. I concede that for the moment, I do not. May I suggest that we investigate the yard again? Very well. May the goddess of justice go with you. Oof. Now then, to the yard. Perhaps we can finally put this case to rest. What's that sound? Yikes, is there a fire?
Did somebody else escape? Should we maybe skip town too?
Darlings, please. There's nothing to be alarmed about. By which I mean, that's not an alarm. It's the dinner bell. Although I suppose it is rather alarming if you aren't used to it. It certainly scared the heck out of me. I'm so sorry, Sweet Pea. I hope you can forgive us. Alright, you two. Back to your posts. Chop chop. And as for you, Rocco Carcerado, it's time you went back to your room.
Fine. I get the picture. Come on, Teddy. We're out of here.
Warden Lagarde, we'd like to take one more look around the yard now.
Oh, darlings, don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are afraid I'm over.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow, huh?
No, it's imperative that we investigate it right away.
I think we've had quite enough excitement for one day. Don't you? Murderers, escapees, so eventful. It's time our guests went home to Betty Buys, isn't it?
Yes it is.
Come now, darling.
Don't make me bore you with all that I am the warden, this is an order nonsense. Hell no.
Warden Lagarde is right. Her word is law here, and we must respect her wishes.
Hey, there was a murder here. Somebody just tried to escape. It's not business as usual, ma'am. This bitch is doing something fishy.
Mr. Edgeworth, your investigation of the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. What are you waiting for, kittykins? Off you go.
Fine. At least there is a tomorrow for me. Judge Gavelle believes that Knight's body was dropped down the well and then taken through Mr. Carcerado's cell. But is that truly the case? Do the facts really support her theory? She also seems to believe Mr. Saint had to be the one to move the body, but was he really the only one with the opportunity to do so? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Tomorrow's another day. We'll figure out a way to stop Simeon. Save Simeon. I know we will. I'd just be saying shit, to be honest. Yes, we will. I will prove that Mr. Saint is innocent, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Alright, that was a marathon. Dude, I recorded half of that. And still, that kicked my ass. Alright. I'm gonna finish this case, regardless. I have to finish this one, so I'm gonna try to do that soon. Thank you for watching. I know this is a long one, and I'm enjoying this. I'm really into it. I like all the characters. I think this is a mega huge ensemble. Like, some of the shots where they stop in the room and there's like 12 people, and each of them have their own voice, and I don't know. It's cool. This case is great. Can't wait to finish it. I'm gonna do that soon. Peace and love. Thanks for watching. Bye.